Kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour. Gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's Thursday night, January 22nd, and I think most of the South, Kentucky, they consider Kentucky South. I know parts of Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma. We're all gearing up for some cold weather and some snow and ice. The farther south you go, the more ice there's going to be. So I hope everybody has their generators and their candles and lots of bourbon and whiskey and rye, just in case you need a backup to stay warm. Here, where I'm at in central Arkansas, they're calling primarily for sleet, snow, anywhere between 2 inches and 30 inches. So we'll see what happens. You never know. I'm going to bring in the old guy that you know. He probably knows a thing or two about snow, Mr. Roger Randall. What's going on, Roger?
Snow.
Can I just go ahead and do this?
Yeah, I think you need to put that up there.
Whenever you hear the word S-N-O-W,
Snow.
that's when you're going to have a drink, okay? I mean, you don't have to, but it'll make you feel all warm and snuggly inside. Right, Raj?
Yeah. I've got RD1 maple going on right now, just to start it off.
Well, I got some MB Rolland going on right now. So
I have that saved in the special Bourbon Legends Glencairn with Bourbon Legends Glencairn topper.
There you go. Yeah, we're working on some things. I know Daniel Beasley is. I'm working. We've got our little 3D printers after Christmas, and I'm working on a Glen topper that's going to have our logo on top. And look, it's going to fit in there as well.
Ooh.
So that may be something I do during the Snowmageddon. Something else, Roger, I'm going to show you real quick, and our guests that are out there. We're going to give out some coasters here maybe probably next week, because I just ran this prototype. I'm going to do the Weller Rainbow of coasters. So you'll get 5 coasters. One white, black, blue, orange, red, and green. Is that correct? Is that 5?
That is correct.
I think so. It is correct, sir.
Speaking of the green Weller.
All right, so let's move on. Okay.
I said, speaking of the green Weller.
I'm all ears.
I don't think we have it as a story, but there's been several individuals on our Discord that posted pictures. They've got the new gold top with the cork, special reserve, and apparently there's been a sighting of the gold top with the cork of your Weller 12. So all those screw caps that you got out there in your collection, save them back because they're going to be collector's items someday. You know what I mean? They'll be worth $500, $600, $5 or $6.
So you're saying that the Weller 12 is now a cork instead of a screw top?
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with the special reserve, huh?
Yep, special reserve. And that's what they're seeing on the market right now. It hit at the distillery, and now it hit apparently over in Memphis. A couple of people had bottles of it. So
I'm sure that makes it taste better, huh?
Looks prettier.
Anyway, let's move on here. Let's talk about a few new releases that are coming up. First off is, I don't know if you recognize that old dude there, but Rising Tide, they're coming out with 4 different SKUs, and packaging is going to be green. And I said it, green, I said. You know what that means? If it's going to be a green packaging, what is it going to be?
Green.
Roger?
Irish whiskey. No. Sorry, Craig.
I thought you were going to say it's going to be out for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
no, they're coming out with a rye. No, they're coming out with a rye, for crying out loud. Oh my gosh. Slow coffee day for Roger. All right, let's move on to something you may know more about. How about the Woodford Double Oak? This is like what, their 3rd or 4th release of this stuff now?
Yeah, and that price point every time just kills me. And I saw somebody hunting the other day, and somebody was trying to sell a bottle for $300. I'm like, it is not that rare. And from what I understand, the new Double Oak cast strength bottles that they've got, which are the store picks, there's the Double Oak, regular Double Oak in a cast strength, are better than these. But that's, again, all a matter of opinion. But,
True. Well, you know, when this first came out, the Double Oak, it was very hard to find. And last year, yeah, I don't know if it was the price point or just, you know, the downturn in interest or whatever it was, but yeah, I saw it a lot of places, and here they're coming out again with it. So we'll see if you want a bottle of it.
Bottles on the shelf right now.
You have 200. I haven't had any of it. I haven't had a review. I don't know what it tastes like. But that's interesting anyway. Moving right along in the news of new releases. Oh, Heaven Hill is releasing, I don't know, it may be released already now, the 12-year 108 proof rye, which, you know, last year the A batch was the whiskey of the year.
The A925.
So,
and now they've got an
this would be A26.
Okay. 126. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're so inclined that you like the rye, it is. I don't remember what last year's was. This is a 12-year. I want to say last year's was not quite 12, but I may be wrong.
No, it was 12. It was 12 plus.
Was it 12?
Yeah, okay. 12 years, 3 months.
Very good. Now, here's one, you know, we're going to have a show coming up in the next week or two, and it's going to be called Your Grievance Hotline. Everything that you do not like about the whiskey business, whether it's cost, whether it's certain brands or certain, mash bills. One of my big beefs is celebrity. And Knob Creek is coming out with their Eli Manning pick number 2. And I didn't know that Eli Manning was a connoisseur of whiskey, number 1, but is that gonna influence you, Roger, to go buy a Knob Creek that Eli picked?
No, the cast strength versions of the Knob Creek 9-year pick I would buy. And of course, as soon as they come out with a 12-year cast strength, I think there's everybody in our group will buy. But I don't know about an Eli pick. It never was my favorite quarterback. But I guess if you're an Ole Miss guy, there you go.
I mean, I guess Ole Miss has to have something to lean back on since their coach went over to LSU.
Yep.
There's just something about the celebrity thing that I just don't really, and it's one thing if a celebrity, like say Bob Dylan, what's the one he has, Heaven's Door? I mean, I'm okay with that. But when you just have somebody who's just, this is just purely a marketing thing. I don't know. I didn't deep dive into it. Like, is this Eli's idea or is this, Jim Beam's idea? I don't know, but it just wouldn't influence me to buy it.
Well, I think it's Beam Centauri. I'll be honest. I think it's their marketing folks trying to do a Hail Mary. In marketing and trying to drag every celebrity they can into it.
I wasn't on. If I'd have been on the spot there, I probably could have did a drum roll there.
But I think it's just what they're trying to do. Market to the people coming in. I don't know that it's going to help.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And that's the other thing, like Peyton Manning, he's got his own brand of whiskey called Sweet and Cove. Why didn't Eli pick it? Why didn't they get in there and do their little thing that they do where they, talk about football and booze? I don't know.
Well, maybe it was his brother was caught in a snowstorm and couldn't make it for the video shoot, the photo shoot, and so thus it was Eli's pick.
I've learned that when that word is brought up, I don't take a bigger sip. I take smaller sips. And lastly, New Riff has came out with a rye, and it's a Balboa rye. You know who that is? Rocky Balboa? No.
Yeah. Well, they did this a couple of years ago, and it was real popular. Problem was, it was only a very small amount of it. And it's the same thing with a lot of the other New Riff products that are out there. They don't make a lot of it, and which is probably not a bad idea for them because then they're not stuck with a lot of it. But it was real popular. The malted rye was real popular. The winter whiskey this year was really popular. It was gone very quickly. So this is kind of a spring offering that they do, winter spring offering they do, and you can mainly get it at the distillery. There's a few stores and stuff like that'll carry it. We'll have to find out if Alex is going to carry it up there at Red Barrel.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, they had a different kind of grain on one of these. I can't remember what it was. Was it Elbon rye? Was that the rye they did last time? Was Elbon? I can't remembe. Having one of those days. My brain is foggy.
Malt. Yeah, they did a single malt. They've done a couple other things, the winter whiskey and a few of the others. But these things kind of keep the brand fresh, keep little seasonal releases. They don't produce a lot of it, so it makes it. You have to go hunt it up, go up to. I believe their tasting room is just south of Cincinnati in Kentucky, on the same lot as where the Party Time liquor store is.
Oh, okay. If you say so, my friend.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now you know. Hey, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to our special guest tonight. I'm going to do this graphic, and I'm pretty sure this graphic is not going to work because Roger was the one that built it, and I'm just going to blame him for it. But we're going to see. See, I knew it wasn't going to work, Roger.
Well, you're supposed to play it first, and then, yeah, okay.
Oh, well, hold on. You want me to remove everybody? Thirsty night. Whoa, what are you doing,
Can't hear
Roger?
you.
What are you doing?
You can't hear
See,
you.
I told you that's okay. Anyway, let me fix this. I'm sorry, guys. That's our mistake. It's live TV. Where did you put that background, Roger? I need to remove it now. There. Anyway, folks, without further ado, we have Mary Beth and Paul Tomaszewski. I knew I was going to mess that up too, Tom. Paul, why am I saying Tom? That's your last. Man, I tell you what, you ever had those days where just things aren't sinking in your brain? I'm having one of those. So anyway, they're with MB Rolland, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Are you guys gearing up for the snow?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's we're right on that line, so we could either have the complete frozen everything, or we could just have some snow and wait to thaw out of it. But we in fact, when we opened the distillery, or rather acquired the property in 2009, there was a historic ice storm in our county right there in Christian County. It was the single largest national disaster in the history of the county. There were people without power for 3 weeks. So hoping it's not one of those.
Yeah,
Yep.
Don't jinx us.
We don't need that. Yeah.
I remember when that came through here, here and up in the Ozark Mountains. There were people without power for close to a month. Of course, up in the Ozark Mountains, a lot of those people have sunshine, pumped in there anyway. So, yeah, I got a feeling some people are going to have that problem. I hope it's not us or anybody that's watching our show tonight. Anyway,
We just hope
you guys want to introduce? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mary Beth.
I just said we just hope everybody's prepped for it. So whoever gets it, they're ready.
That's right. And hope that you don't need emergency assistance too fast. Those guys are going to be out there risking it, but do you guys want to tell us a little bit about your distillery there and what you guys do? Don't get into great depth because we probably will here in a minute, but just if you want to introduce yourselves, and because like in Arkansas, a lot of our viewers are from Arkansas. Your product's not available here, so they may not know much about MB Rolland.
Well, I have to technically correct you. It's available on mbrolland.com, and they can have it shipped to their location in Arkansas. So they can.
Okay, now here's the weird thing. I've got to ask you, and this is already where we're going down that rabbit hole. Okay, how come some distilleries can ship to Arkansas and other ones can't?
I don't know if you can go down this rabbit hole, to be honest with you. It really depends on your fulfillment company.
Yeah.
Out there, we're not personally shipping these bottles. We ship it to a fulfillment warehouse, and then they have a separate, different license, and then that's sent out to whatever states based on what they deem is legal. Long term, because we've kind of been involved with the process to build this process out, it's still a few years out from kind of full realization. It really comes down to clarifying a lot of state laws and just time catching up with a lot of this. When you got 50 different states, it complicates things for alcohol laws. But
I see.
The company we use ships to about 40 states, Arkansas being one of them, and it's through that intermediary. But
Okay.
And it
Well,
looks like your
now I know I don't have an excuse not to have any of your product, huh?
that's right.
It was a setup. The
That's
whole
right.
thing was a setup.
Well, I have to admit, I didn't find it here, but I did find the bottle I had. This bottle I got over in Kentucky.
Okay.
Nice.
We were on a trip, and me and my buddy Will, who's normally here but not available tonight, we were both tossing up to get it. So I bought this bottle, and he bought another one. So, and I've had the wheat before, your wheat whiskey before that they had, and enjoyed that. I lived up in St. Louis, and it was available there.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, the states I believe that they're available in right now are Arizona, California, Nevada, Washington, Colorado, Illinois, Kentucky, Maryland, District of Columbia, Missouri, Tennessee, Texas, and Wisconsin.
Not necessarily all of those states, but a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know in Missouri, I believe it was grafted wine, but I'm not sure if that's still the same.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It's still okay. Yeah. Okay. So that gets into some of our questions we have, and we'll ask those later. But distribution of your product becomes part of an issue too. You can distill it, you can make it, but then getting it out to people in markets is a whole nother game.
Right. Yeah. Well, to kind of give y'all like a quick little 5-minute explanation on our business and our distillery. Paul and Mary Beth, we started it together. You kind of hit on already why it's called MB Rolland, because our last name's Tomaszewski, and I said that's not a whiskey name. So I told Mary Beth, MB Rolland sounds like a whiskey already. Let's use that. And when we conned her into it, but I mean, it seems like a while ago. I guess it was at this point, but it really for us started in 2007. If you look at our distillery on the map, we're a stone's throw from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That's how I got to the area. I'm originally from the New Orleans area. And so I like to say I swam up the Mississippi to show all these Kentuckians about the bourbon they lost over history. Is that a good one? No?
Yeah.
No, you don't like that one?
No.
No.
No more jokes.
No more jokes.
We got to vet them first.
Yeah. But the reality is I got there that way. I met Mary Beth and just kind of became infatuated with whiskey and how the process works. And while being right there on the Kentucky-Tennessee line, went and toured a few distilleries and started thinking about the whole concept of a craft distillery, thinking about it more so in the context of microbreweries and what it would eventually become as far as the market goes. But when I studied the whiskey industry and you look at the history, the way I like to explain it to people now is you had about a couple thousand distilleries in 1918, and then of course Prohibition kicks in and you have 6 medicinal licenses. So I mean, you lost so much different flavor and variation and localized techniques that the industry had. You lost every pot still, you lost everyone using localized grains, you lost all of it, all of the distilleries that were making their own barrels for the most part, or buying locally, made barrels. So, I mean, it was a major, major disruption. We lost so much. And then, of course, the evolution of time, the laws changed. The production laws are a little bit different now than they used to be back in the day. And I thought to myself, that's the whiskey I want. I want the stuff from the 1800s that was being sent by the barrel out west. And when John Wayne walked in there and got a glass of whiskey, this is what he's drinking, And so that is kind of our business model right there, is we did not want to make the same type of more modern day column distilled juice. We wanted to make true pre-prohibition style juice. And when I was thinking about it, this is, again, 2007, I'm sitting there going like it is very stupid to make this type of whiskey, because you're basically taking away all of the benefits you get with watering whiskey down and filtering and things like that. So it's not the greatest plan when it comes to yield and totals you're going to get when you're producing. But that's not the idea. Is we're a small producer. And so in our case, you know, we fill a few hundred barrels a year. We have always made our own product. You really can't source our style of whiskey. You can't source pot distilled white corn pot distilled bourbon unless you're sourcing it from us at this point. And so sourcing whiskey would have been it wouldn't have made sense for us going into the style of product that we, you know, have as far as at this point. And so, you know, we kind of feel like, and the longer I do this and the more time that goes by, you know, our stuff has a very distinctive, unique kind of flavor to it. It's got that extra kind of viscosity on the mouth because of the pot distillation and lack of filtration and all of that. But I mean, this is meant to be stuff that, again, it's like you're pulling it out of the barrel, and it's got a unique flavor.
From something that's pre-prohibition.
Right.
So we use a food grade white corn as the main ingredient, and it does come through on the palate. You know, if you hear someone say grain forward, a lot of times most people are thinking youth. That's not the case for us. The grain is intentionally coming forward in that because, again, it's a food grade white corn. So it's not a yellow dent. It's not grown for starch. It's grown for food consumption.
And then
so you're getting even smaller yields by using that variety of corn as opposed to a high starch, high sugar yield.
Yes.
Yep. It's lower yields, but also it's a little bit more of a cost. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. You can even see the difference with the stuff growing in the field. Our stuff is like, you know, 6.5 feet tall, and the ears are different sizes because it really hasn't been messed with. And then you look at ethanol corn and it's 8 feet tall, and every ear is, you know, super big, universal, you know, size and more ears per plant, usually more, you know, sometimes an extra ear of corn on there. But it was unique to have access to food grade white corn. You don't find that everywhere, and we happen to have it 5 miles away in Pembroke, where some farmers have been cultivating this and growing it and selling it to grits companies and tortilla companies. I mean, it's just very unique. And I'm from Louisiana. I got to the area and I'm talking and I'm like, this is unique. This is great. We got to use this. I didn't quite understand at that time that, you know, again, you can't get it everywhere. And, you know, it's unique unless you have someone grow it for you specifically, and you need that pipeline continuously grown.
I was going to say too, if you think about it, if you're trying to stand out in an industry, why are you going to repeat what everybody else is doing? You need to do something different, and you need to do it in a manner that you put your own mark on it. So I kind of correlate it to chocolate. Hershey's has an amazing product. There's nothing wrong with Hershey's. It's great. But if you want a small batch operation that the chocolatier is a little bit more intense and flavorful, maybe you go to Art Eatables. You know, we use those guys for a lot of the stuff, truffles that we have in our gift shop. But that's the way we try to relate so that people understand we purposefully did this. It may sound crazy. Obviously, your bottom line is what you're worried about as a business. But ultimately, if you're going to stand out, you can't do everything everybody else is doing. You got to do something different and special.
Yeah, and I think where you guys ended up, where your location is, things like that, helps promote your brand a little bit too, because you're close to Fort Campbell and you're also close to the interstate. That was the thing whenever I drive back and forth to Florida, we'd always see the MB Rolland signs up, you know, and you know, oh, there we go. That's, you know, so and those are the type of things that really help to get people to understand and know the brand. And then when they come in, you give them the full explanation. Hey, just asking from one of our people online, what are the 2 bottles you have in in between you right there.
Oh yes, both of these bottles available on mdrolland.com for your
There we go.
purchase.
So this one is Old Second District. This is our latest bottled in bond. It is made with the mash bill of our flagship bourbon, which is what Paul is drinking right now. I'm personally drinking the Old Second District. And I will point out that we don't enter a lot of contests. And this one we didn't enter either, but we were notified by a gentleman that runs Whiskey Fellow that this won his 2025 best bottled in bond for the year. So that was pretty exciting.
Nice.
It's more of like
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
it's more of a balanced profile, being 100 proof. That's as low as it gets. This one, of course.
Yeah, and this one is our flagship bourbon. You'll find this one on the shelves more frequently than you will the bottled in bond currently. We're working on that.
I don't know. It might be one way or the other.
Yeah.
Paul said he's been working hard to get it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's all, hey, it's good to have it, but getting enough numbers to, to send cases out, another game. Yeah, I really enjoy the one that you're doing. Now I always touch it off with just a little touch of water, and I don't know why I do, but I just always do that. And I just so much better. It just brings out a lot of the flavors, a lot of the things that are in the background.
It's never touched water, being barrel proof and non-chill filtered. So when water touches it the first time, it's going to go through a chemical reaction or two to kind of change that flavor. It usually sweetens up even more and even softens up. But I point that out only because it's like people will say, "Hey, take this 90 proof bourbon and add some water," and it opens it up. And my response to that is, why? I already added a whole lot of water to open it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But that's the good thing too. You think about it, that's a cost-saving benefit for the consumer. Everything we do is barrel strength, unless like this one is required by law. But if it's barrel strength and you go home and you add water, then it just ends up lasting longer for you in your pocketbook. So
yeah, well, and it just, for me, I noticed it brought out a lot more flavors. You know what I mean? It's just when I first started drinking it, I was like, I wonder what it'll do, because it's always been the thing. Add a touch of water, and as soon as I did, it was really, really good. And both ways, it's good. It's just that water really brings out a lot of those extra flavors.
Well, that's the thing on any bourbon or whiskey, if you will. The higher the proof, putting a little water in there, diluting it down a little bit, it does open it up. You get more of the, especially I think on the nose, you can pick out more. I have a question. I work for my family, and sometimes it is a challenge. I don't work with my wife, but I work with my family. As a husband and wife team, how do your roles naturally differ? Like, how do you cut it off like at the distillery, and then you come home and your husband and wife, when you're there at work, you're, co-workers? How do you guys handle that overlap?
I think generally we do a very, very good job. It's one of those things where it's hard to be perfect, but I think we do a pretty good job. We don't have kids, so the business is kind of our family, along with ourselves, Mary Beth and I, and it kind of all goes together in a lot of ways. We do have a unique kind of, let's call it, resource on our staff of someone that is a longtime friend. She might be watching this live stream. I doubt it. But her name's Vanessa, and we've known her for 20 plus years, and she's now worked at the business for going on 6. And basically, she's kind of the third vote. And if we have a disagreement business-wise, or if we're trying to figure something out, we figure it out that way, because it's 2 out of 3 no matter what. So that's been of a big help. But it really is just, it's a marathon, not a sprint, is kind of a big part of our mentality, I think, and what we've learned over the years. I mean, nothing happens super fast in the whiskey business, especially when you make your own product.
And I will say it was a bit of a change. Paul was in the military when we first got together, and so he deployed. So he was gone for over a year, and then came back. I was working in banking at the time, so I had a full-time job, and then I would come back and help at the distillery. And then I think it was 2014, 13, I came out full-time.
Right.
And then at that point, we were together 24/7 working, and, and then obviously husband and wife. So we just recently opened a tasting room here in Cave City, which is where we are now. You've got some great brick background that we don't have at the Amish facility. But anyway, so that's actually given us a little bit of a change. I'll work up here. Paul goes back and forth, and I'll go back and forth occasionally, but this has been my main thing since we've opened it. So
now that we got this Snowmageddon coming. Oh, I just said that word.
No.
So since we got that coming, now I'm hanging out at the distillery. I'm heading there tomorrow, and that's going to hang out here just to, be prepared for the obvious. So
let's see.
Yeah.
Now, how many miles is the distance between the distillery and the tasting area?
About 90.
It's about 85 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a pretty good jaunt.
Yeah, I mean it's a smooth drive. You're basically going. We're on 65 here in Cave City, so if you of course know where Bardstown is, that's an hour away. Elizabethtown 40 minutes. Louisville a little over an hour away. Nashville's due south an hour and a half or so. Basically, if you go to Bowling Green, which is 35 miles south, then from there you're going to Russellville and then Pembroke. And
it's one of the exits for Mammoth Cave National Park, and of course it's a World Heritage Site, so there's a lot of traffic. And if you hear
we're by the railroad.
We're in the rail district. It's the old downtown, which we love. Cave City is one of the coolest little towns, and one of the things I will say about this little town is it's like vintage tourism. So if you remember you probably don't. I'm sure I'm older than everybody that's watching, and you guys as well. But if you remember in the 70s and maybe early 80s, you had the little vintage motels and you had all these little mom and pop tourism spots. Well, most of the cities now, they've been upscaled so much that they don't keep a lot of their character. Cave City is totally different. They've retained all of that. There's so many little neat mom and pops here, and they're unique. You won't find them anywhere else. And they embrace that fun and funky vibe, which is what we love. So we're thrilled to be here.
So do you just do tastings at the tasting room there? You no longer do them at the distillery anymore, or do you have any events at the distillery still? Or
oh yeah, no, we absolutely do. This is just in addition to.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. We're just expanding our footprint, and we're new here. We just opened it up, I think, in October.
Right. So it's just been a few months, and for us, it's a different travel pattern of people. We're over on I-24 where the distillery is, on the way to Nashville and the Gulf Coast, and then this way it's 65. So, we can kind of see and understand a little bit of difference of people that we're getting coming this direction, a few different states and whatnot. But it's, probably the number one way, in my humble opinion of, our time in the business, but the number one way for a craft distillery to grow its brand and to get out there is some kind of tasting room or tasting experience. And so in Kentucky, we're unique that we can have more than one, and hopefully we'll be lifting that this next session to be able to have an unlimited amount of tasting rooms. Then you're really going to have fun trying to do the Bourbon Trail after that. But it is the other thing is Kentucky, and even though we're in Western Kentucky, somewhat of a different travel pattern, I feel like, there's a lot of discussion of people, particularly ones that, maybe you're not the most informed about, the industry's going down and the bourbon boom's over and all this other stuff. Not so much in my opinion, but more importantly, when you're talking about the long-term life and sustainability of the bourbon industry, the number one thing that you can promote is people coming to Kentucky. And that's even if someone's a Tennessee or Texas brand of bourbon, because everyone will admit, bourbon goes through Kentucky. That's the way it works. But the more people from all over the country, all over the world that come to Kentucky and they get culturally tied to bourbon culture, and then they want to come back, and then they want to bring their friends and family, and then they bring that back home, and so on and so forth. That is the best thing I think that's going to help the industry long term.
I have a couple of questions. One of those kind of relates, or both of them kind of relate to what you just said about, getting your name out there and whatnot. This gentleman here is from way down south, Louisiana, and he says he's never heard of the brand. Do you guys have a good rye?
Oh yeah, we got, in my opinion, we've got.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we've got one of the best ryes, or definitely the most unique ryes. It's pot distilled. It has our same white corn in it, 27%, and it has a different, unique kind of flavor. One thing is, like our bourbon in particular, but also our rye, take on what I call the dark fruit flavor profile: figs, dates, prunes, raisins. But the rye also has that herbal, minty kind of character going on. So there is our rye right there.
You can get it online.
Yeah.
Yep.
At mdrolland.com. Now, I will say, if you're in Louisiana, we did just get into Louisiana with a distributor there. They don't have our rye, but they do have our flagship bourbon and Old Second District and a couple other things. So if you go to your local liquor store, you can tell them Wines Unlimited is our distributor, and they cover the whole state.
Robin asks, are you guys planning on going to the Kentucky Bourbon Fest this year?
We were there in 2025.
Yeah, we were there last year.
Yeah, last year. So we have been there before. We will likely go again this year.
It kind of, quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, with us having both of these tasting rooms, it really does depend on the needs of the business on site of the locations. Because if we end up being extremely busy, which is a good thing, we won't have enough people to staff the Bourbon Festival. So that's still up in the air. We're planning all of our events currently right now.
Yeah, I know Robin and her husband Brian, they go every year to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival and enjoy it, and they go down the craft aisles before they go down any of the big people's aisles, because you can learn a lot more about what's out there in the markets and those type of things.
Yeah, we were there last year, and we saw quite a few people that we knew and met quite a few people that we never met before. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to go.
Yeah,
or if you're at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, this place is an hour away.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you first got started, and I think this is something we were talking about earlier a little bit, but what are some of the things you've noticed that have changed in the craft distilling that have changed since you got started and up until now? Because I know there's been a lot of new other brands, a lot of things like that. So one thing that maybe is harder today than it was back then, and something that's maybe easier now.
Supplies are easy.
Oh boy, there's a few things, I guess. I'll say this. The biggest difference compared to when we got into the industry from the consumer standpoint is, bourbon is now very much tied to women as well. And that's a great thing because, the man might be the head of the household, but the woman's the neck. So that's important. Turns the head which way she wants to go, right? But that's a big difference and a big plus. And, it's more of a catch-all for the population. But as far as craft distilling goes, I guess the biggest difference is it is definitely harder now to get into the industry and make your own juice and build yourself off of that. I mean, if I was doing it now, I would maybe try to figure out a way where I could bridge myself coming into the industry that way. But, conversely, sourcing barrels and playing that way is just as difficult in some cases because you can't always get the same whiskey and the price of that whiskey is not going to stay the same. So there's no guarantee you can control your price, as far as your product goes.
Well, here's another thing though. So back when we first started, there was like now, if you wanted to, you could potentially contract your spirits to be made with the recipe that you wanted. And you could find a supplier that would be willing to do a few hundred barrels or even less than that. When we got into this, that wasn't an option. We either bought what was available, which we weren't going to do because our stuff was going to be so different, or you do what we did. You make something else that has an immediate return, and you wait and you wait.
The other thing about distilleries, and I've got a little bit of a, I guess you could say, unique take on this because I've done a advisory panel for Moonshine University Distilled Spirits Epicenter in Louisville, and done it now for 15 years because I guess we were one of the only craft distilleries when they started it. And it's kind of fascinating to me to see the evolution of the people trying to get into the business and what their different, motivations are and what their game plans are. The days of like jumping in the market and just, quote unquote, becoming the next Penelope, which that had its own unique kind of circumstances surrounding it that you can't compare to anyone else. But those days are over. I mean, if you want to grow a brand and build it, it's going to be a process. It's going to take years. It's going to take time and effort. And part of it too is you got to have something distinctive about your product too. Because
you got to be a heck of a marketing story. I mean,
yeah.
And these unicorns happen.
Yep.
But they're unicorns. Most of the other distilleries out there are plugging along and they've got just as good juice, but something happened and flipped the switch and those guys shot to the top. And that's great. Yeah. Everybody wants that. Everybody does.
And part of it, you kind of alluded to it earlier about the distributors. I mean, that's the moving target that no one knows about. That's not in the market. I mean, you might know one or two distributors in your local market, but there are many distributors in many different markets. They're getting bought and sold. They're growing. They're evolving. So they're not the same company. We've got some distributors we've done business with now for 10 plus years and got a great relationship. We've grown with them. They've grown with us, and so on and so forth. Then we've got other distributors that got bought, and it's starting over with a marriage that is now tied to someone that you didn't sign up with. And they have a completely different business model and different way of doing business. And you're like, this is not going to work. Your type of model is not going to work with mine.
And that's the worst part because there have been distributors to where, we had a great track record and we were well represented in their state. And when they got bought,
everything changed.
And, that's unfortunate. That's stuff that happens in the market. Which
is why it's an amazing and wonderful thing. You can go on nbrolland.com And you can buy many of these products and have them shipped to most of your doors.
So kind of relating to that, I get the feeling that you're not wild about the 3-tier system. Am I reading that correctly, or?
Anyone in this business who's wild about the 3-tiered system and says so, and is a supplier on our side, is telling you a story.
Or they've worked out something that we haven't
Or
figured
they've
out
got a
yet.
side gig going
Yeah.
on. But the real frustration with the 3-tiered system is you're working with 50 different sets of rules and different circumstances. And, this is not, there's very few products, there's very few you can think of where it's like, okay, I'm a mom and pop business. We've got a handful of employees to our business. We're very, very small and tiny and nothing compared to the multi-billion-dollar companies that drive this industry.
That federal tax,
And
man.
yeah,
Ooh.
but as far as like how we get product to you, we have to jump through all these hurdles and figure out all this stuff. It should be as simple as you call us at the distillery and you say, hey, Paul, you just bottled this single barrel. It sounds awesome. Ship us a bottle and we'll sign for it that we're 21. And, it should kind of be the end of it. But it's the alcohol industry and you have so much stuff tied up in this and decades and decades and years and years. And the other issue is the 3-tiered system has probably one of the strongest lobbies in all of lobbying. They've got more money than God.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know this from talking to some of the other smaller craft distillers we've had on the show. All of them say the same thing. They get in with a distributor, and the distributor does nothing for them. Sometimes they have to, call the market. They have to get people in, do those things in the market. And I don't know, it's changed a lot because the distributor used to be involved with promoting brands and getting things out there and finding ways and that's just not in their budget anymore. It seems like there's cost cutting and, they kind of get siloed. And it's easy just to do, hey, we'll put up a Crown Royal sign up. Well, that's easy to do that, you know what I mean? And that's about it. Instead of telling the story of a small craft distillery, which is going to produce a better product or something more unique for them. But again, they don't have that. They don't invest that time and money into that anymore. And that's why it's like it's important for our show, for a lot of the other YouTube shows out there, and especially you. Just getting it out there, putting all the time, educating the people.
I was going to say, as far as marketing goes, everyone talks about tariffs and stuff like that. And I'll be quite frank with you. Tariffs haven't been near a concern for us, more so than the cost increases year after year ever since COVID. They haven't gone down. That's having to build into the product and, labor costs, of course, everyone deserves to be paid what they're worth, and we're never paying somebody what we want to pay them,
Right.
So you do have to cut costs somewhere, and marketing is usually one of the first things that gets hit. So that's true.
Well, we're here for the little guy. We've kind of found our niche, if you will, and we like the craft stuff and we like the stories behind it. I think they're a lot more real, like I was talking earlier, we're going to have a grievance show, and it's going to be like a caller driven hotline type show, long time listener, first time caller here. I don't like that, Buffalo Trace holds back this or that. We're just going to get it all out. Because we found out there's just so many, I don't want to call them flat out lies, but so many myths or stories, that's out there in the whiskey world. Bourbon lore. Yeah, that's a trademark. You can't probably say that, Roger, but
oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
Having been in this business as long as we have, and being a part of this evolution from, a handful of distilleries in the country to now what it's become, with the amount of brands. I do tell people, I say, if you're complaining about buying whiskey right now, all I can say is you're living in the greatest time in the history of mankind as far as your options, and not even options, what's coming down the pike, because the benefit of being a consumer when you go from 8 or 9 whiskey producers to over 1,000 in a relatively short time is you get to, get the competition of all of that.
Take your pick.
So just realize that, I got into this because of history, and that's what I follow, and that's what I compare this to. And you will never find a time other than now. I don't care what period of time when you're going to have more volume and choices and things
accessibility.
Like that.
Yeah.
But on what you were saying, I've been able to know a lot of people, continue to know a lot of people in this business because of the time that we've grown up being in Kentucky. But one guy by the name of Steve Thompson that I was able to know, he's no longer with us, but he did a lot in the industry. He was president of Brown-Forman when they purchased the Old Labor and Graham Distillery location and converted it into Woodford Reserve, and has some. The guy was amazing just hearing him talk because he told it to you straight up. But what he used to say that I take and carry on with me all the time is this industry's 51% corn and 49% bullshit. And my add-on to that is we are 100% authentic because we have never been able to afford anything else.
That's right.
Because it costs a lot of money to market bullshit, let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
That reminds us of, and then you guys probably know him. Help me out, Roger. Wood Hat, Gary Heingarten.
Gary Heingarten.
You guys know Gary? We got Gary on our
started
show
talking
back.
about corn. I started to see Gary's hat start to come in and sit down in your head because that was Gary's speech. That was perfect.
Yeah, I love Gary.
And Gary was the same way. He's like, go ahead.
No, I was just, he and I see eye to eye on that, and known him for many years at this point. But the whole marketing and the process and the story and everything like that, it's funny because a lot of that's getting caught up with at this point. I mean, you got the internet, you've got people like y'all where you have a whole show here talking about, a very limited amount of information, us as a subject matter, but also just the industry as a whole. And, some of these marketing stories that they used to run with don't work as well anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I have my own thoughts about different things. I mean, how many different hills and valleys and little roads is Jack Daniel's going to come up with that they're going to name a special label after? I'm just saying, we're looking for, the old toilet hill or something, that's going to turn out.
The same thing, the outhouse,
The outhouse hill, there was only one outhouse and a rick house, and what we produced there has been the best bourbon we could have. I'm just saying. It would work. So
that's your next job, obviously. They're going to hear this interview and they're going to be like, "Oh, we got to hire Roger for sure."
Right.
I'm retired. I'm beyond retirement. I'm retired from that. But I'll just tell you, I just can't wait for it to happen because it just seems like every year there's something. I didn't know there was a Tanyard Hill. Nobody knew there was a Coy Hill. But are you sure their little marketing group sure made you seem like that was something super, super different. But the idea that I have, one of the questions I have was one of my friends had asked, what's your barrel production on an annual basis? I didn't even ask
barrel
that
production.
Question. Yeah. How many barrels do you guys produce in a year?
We have slowly walked up over the years, and at this point we're in the 200 to 300 barrels a year world. So, we're filling equivalent of a barrel or two a day when we're running. And we've got the capacity to do up to 1,000 barrels a year, but we'll be continuing to grow into that over time.
We
But
still are a mom and pop.
yeah, we're
Oh, yeah.
not, you know, we're not trying to make a $25 bottle volume type of situation. So yeah.
No, I see. I just wondered, had some idea as far as the amount of production, because people didn't want to, you got, what was it? I think it was like 8 different SKUs that I saw on the website. Am I correct in that? And so you've got a lot of different variety that you offer out there for the fact that you do, an average production of like 400 barrels a year. And
Right.
that's a lot of work. I mean, because, you got to have a rye day, because I know you can't run rye and then run bourbon immediately afterwards. You've got to have a clean up and do all that. And so it's a lot of work. And that's the thing that most people don't understand, is that what all goes into an average week or time like that. Especially now, you might be on a run and you have something sitting there waiting, and you're worried about having power outages and
Yes.
effects from a snowstorm and all this other stuff. Whereas Brown Forman, anything worried about it. They got a big generator out in the back.
Right.
They fire that up. And so,
Yeah, I got a nice backup generator on my to-do list.
Yeah, yeah, just like everybody.
Yeah.
I know we got a neighbor that every time the power goes out, I hear her natural gas generator go off, and everybody else in the neighborhood is kind of jealous because all her lights come right back on. And
Right.
but that's a whole different world. But so,
Hey,
what are some of the
let-
things that you see changing with your business in the next year or so? I mean, what are some new? Do you have any new products you're looking at, or new ideas, or anything?
Well, really long term for us, we are planning on really growing our dark fired production quite a bit. We do a dark fired bourbon and a dark fired whiskey, and we've done some other, variations on that. But it's a smoked corn that we smoke ourselves, made with hardwood smoke, much like the dark fired tobacco. And after you smoke the corn for a few days, then it ends up taking on this character, and then you make whiskey with that. So that's really something that we want to grow quite a bit, grow into some of our other SKUs. We've done, a dark fired rye here and there, but we'd like to make it long term. And we also are, for those that are into the flavored stuff, we're working on a bourbon cream or a few of those. At the distillery location, since we're in Cave City right now, we've got a little gas station opening up across the street from us. And so we got a plan for a few more people coming by. It's a gas station called a Buc-ee's, and you'll be able to see it from our distillery. So we're kind of gearing up for a couple more people to come to the tasting room.
Yeah, you'll get a crowd through there.
Yeah.
That'll roll.
Hey, we have a question. You were talking about the dark fired. Mark Pruitt wants to know okay, I'm just going to read it instead of trying to paraphrase. If you get a chance, okay, answer that for me there, Paul, if you don't mind.
He's actually asking about 2 different products. We have our dark fired bourbon, which of course is aged in a new charred oak barrel.
Oh.
And then our dark fired whiskey, which is aged in a used bourbon barrel. And to me, the dark fired whiskey the dark fired bourbon is like burn-ins barbecue bourbon is what it tastes like. It's campfire barbecue bourbon. Whereas the dark fired whiskey is more like a Scotch, kind of an Islay-ish Scotch.
It's used bourbon barrels.
So
yeah,
I actually personally prefer the dark fired whiskey over the bourbon. That's just my personal preference. Maybe it's
that one makes sense.
Maybe it's because we made that one first before we made the bourbon. But the bourbon's a little bit more popular, but they're both quite interesting in their own right.
So we actually make both of those still. There wasn't a change. It's just that you have 2 different products that you're talking about. So, but it's a good question. Absolutely.
So with this dark fire process, so you're actually taking the corn and you're smoking it first, and then you put it into your mash. Interesting process. I've seen a moonshiner online on YouTube do that. Small scale. How do you smoke big scale?
Well, it's
Do you
not
have
that.
like a cold smoker or?
It's like a little smokehouse that we have. Yeah.
So have you ever
Okay.
come through, there's only about, I would say probably max 5
10
counties
counties or so.
in Tennessee and
In
then
Kentucky.
5 in Kentucky
Okay.
that actually do a dark firing of the tobacco. So have you come through in maybe anywhere from August to October and seen the barns that have white billowing smoke?
Mm-hmm. We were there in October this year. We got to witness that
Okay.
in the barns.
Yep. So the process is the same. We do
Okay.
that process with corn instead of tobacco.
Okay. Well,
So
that
it's
makes
a
a lot.
regional. When Paul came here and saw the barns and of course it's a most unique, beautiful smell to me. I grew up with it and I'm telling you, in the event that I ever moved away, I would have somebody that worked in those barns mail me their shirt after they worked in it because I love it. I love that smell. But when he saw it and saw the process, he said, I think I can do that with the corn and I think it would be delicious. And I will say this, Paul is an amazing cook.
I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah. And 90% of the time he's spot on. And he was spot on with this product for sure.
What part of Louisiana are you from, Paul?
You know where, of course, New Orleans is. It's the parish just north of there, St. Tammany Parish. I grew up outside of Slidell,
Okay,
and
yeah.
right up against the Mississippi line. I went to Pearl River High School right up against the Pearl River. My family pretty much all still lives there, mostly Mandeville at this point. But
We've got some viewers that are from New Orleans. I go to Mardi Gras. I'm not going this year. I've been to Mardi Gras like 27 years or something like that. I ride in the crew of Bacchus.
that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, on Sunday nights before. Of course, I'm not riding this year because I'm not going. Last year, me and my son, we rode on the Bacchus, which was a wild experience, actually being on a signature float. And yes, I've already had king cake this year, even in Arkansas. But we went down to a whiskey festival in Beaumont, and I have friends that live in Lake Charles. And so I came back home, with plenty of sausage and boudin and king cakes and all that good stuff. Big difference, though, between Cajun and Creole, I would say, more, I guess you would be more Creole to me, New Orleans area than Lake Charles. But I have a big bowl of gumbo cooked last Sunday with this snowstorm. You're welcome, folks. There's going to be some jambalaya or some gumbo or something going back in on the pot. So and the coolest thing about talking about food, when I got down there, I'm like, man, I just really wish I could get one of those Magnaware pots. Like every old Cajun has a Magnaware pot, and they don't make them anymore. And my friends found one at a garage sale and had it polished up and gave me, and that's the coolest thing. Mary Beth, you were looking like you don't know what a Magna. Okay, hold on, I'll go get it. Hold on.
Cast iron pot is all I'm envisioning.
It is definitely different. There's a lot of Cajun chefs. I'm gonna mute him a little bit because it'll get loud.
Okay.
There's a lot of Cajun chefs, and you'll see them. That's what they're using when they mix up everything, and it's in a big aluminum pot. And it's I just everybody seeing if they're down there and they use it. There it is.
Okay.
And
They're like jambalaya most of the time.
Okay.
yeah, and
Well, I'm noticing
what
that-
makes it different, I don't know, but they swear by it, and that's what they all use. And because the guy that does it on the one YouTube show, well, you got to start and put your Trinity in the pot, and, and he's got, and it's just a little onion, and you got all the stuff going, but it always is in one of those pots. It's funny.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe he came back with one. That was really good.
Well, they make new ones now. It's called Magna Light, but they're made in China.
Yeah.
This one was made in the USA, so like everybody's grandma's got one or something.
Right. Well, that's like in the country, cast iron skillets. If you got
exactly
and stuff like that, then you can't beat that. So.
No, I tell you that's what I love about whiskey and cooking and food. It's like the traditions of everything and the people you meet, and you start swapping stories, and next thing you know, you're like swapping recipes and whatnot. That's the cool thing about this community. I think anyway, it's like nobody's a stranger. You got
something in common for sure. Yeah. Well, I will
absolutely.
Say this, if you happen to be interested in a crawfish boil in Kentucky, we will be having one here in Cave City on April the 25th. We'll be putting tickets on sale soon. We are bringing up a Louisiana crew. We're going to be cooking crawfish and having a full-on party festival down here in downtown Cave City.
We've done it at the distillery for several years, particularly before COVID. We did it last year too, but this location is just so conducive to it. We're being able to close off a little downtown and everything and get some other businesses involved to make it more of a bigger festival type of thing. But
we're going to try to do a second line dance.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the whole.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I promise you that.
See, that's the one thing I won't do. I for some reason I can't second line. I don't have that rhythm.
All you need is an umbrella. That's it.
And
And if we
that
and a hanky.
umbrellas, we'll get some colorful
umbrella and enough bourbon, and you're good.
Enough bourbon.
Dance.
Right.
Nobody cares. You don't have to have rhythm. The whole point is fun.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah, I was you mentioned crawfish, and I had to go to the grocery store and get all the. My wife says I've gone overboard with it, but I had to get 2 pounds of crawfish, to bring home to have for the Snowmageddon. Okay,
Awesome.
for all the people out there. So you got to have that, and I do it, mix it in with all kinds of stuff. People are like, "You can't do that." I said, "Why not?" I made an omelet with crawfish.
You don't mix crawfish tails with red beans and rice, Roger. I'm just telling you, you just don't.
I'm doing it. I did it. I
Oh,
put it
Lord.
with an omelet. I'm telling you what, I had a burger the other night with it in it. It was awesome. But,
Well, hey, whatever floats your boat, buddy. I mean, knock yourself out. Somebody, at some point, somebody had to decide to dig down in a ditch, pull out this ugly mud bug, and say,
Yes.
I think this thing is going to taste good if I boil it.
It looks like a little lobster. Come
Look,
on.
who in the world
yeah, it looks,
think of oyster?
Oh, I love crawfish. I can tell a story of me and my wife before she was my wife. I brought home a 30-pound sack, and we boiled it up, and we ate all that and drank a case of beer one night. And then I couldn't get rid of her. She wanted to keep me forever after that.
You had the right one at that point.
it wasn't a mud bug. It was a love bug.
You say you guys don't have children. Well, see, when my children were young, they would not touch a crawfish. Now that they're 21 or 22 and 19, it's like I got to boil 60 pounds because otherwise I won't have any to eat because they're going to be out there eating them. So, y'all making me hungry now.
Yeah.
You
You mentioned that event coming up that you had in town. Is there any other events? Where can you find those? You guys have them on your Facebook page, or?
Well, we're about to post them. We just finalized our schedule quite literally.
I was about to say,
yesterday.
We've got a page.
But yeah, we're if folks sign up for our newsletter, we'll get it out there very shortly in the next week or so. We'll be posting stuff on the website pretty soon along with that. We do have a call it, what would you call it? Membership program that we've had for several years called the Statesman program. But basically it's a one-time sign up, $200. You get a bottle with it. And after that, you can come to a couple events we have at the distillery specifically for the Statesmen
At no cost.
at no cost.
They get a lifetime discount.
They get first kind of information about any of the special bottlings we did. So we did like a 8-year-old bottling a few months ago, and
That
sent it
sold
out
out
to them
quick.
first, and it sold out really quick. And just other kind of fun bottlings. But those events are a lot of fun. They're, whiskey type of people like us, right here having a conversation. And sometimes they're a little lower key, easier going food, whiskey, try this special bottling.
And people
then,
sometimes
yeah.
come out with stories, and we swear them to secrecy
Right.
after they leave. Jason Hinkle, if you're watching this, I'm talking to you specifically.
Got one coming out. That's good.
Yeah, we have some good times. We really do.
Yeah, that's
what it's about. I mean, it's having fun. Gotta have fun. Well, guys, we really thank you for coming on tonight and telling us about your brand. And now that I know I can order it, I mean, I won't have to wait till I go to Kentucky. I can just get on the online and order. One quick thing, talking about that whole online ordering thing. We had a guest on from Fiddler down in Atlanta, and I was trying to order a bottle so that I could have it for the show. Roger couldn't order a bottle. My wife couldn't order a bottle, but I could order a bottle. And Roger called me everything but a liar. He's like, "You can't do it." And I'm like, "Dude, you can. I'm going to tell you, Roger."
It finally arrived. Oh,
I've had it for a month now, but I'm not cracked it open. But that is just so weird that my wife could not order it from the link I sent her, but I ordered it and got it. It's so crazy.
I'll explain it like this. It is evolving in real time. Our third-party fulfillment is doing new things every few months. They're improving their process. But the market is figuring this out. And so because it's figuring it out, it is not an exact process. But from most people, I'm being told, if you go on mbroland.com and you order a bottle.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
No, absolutely. That's what it's about. I mean, Will, our co-host in the chats over here, he has been dropping. He dropped it 4 minutes ago. mbroland.com. That we call him our backdoor man. He puts all these links in and everything. And I mean, that's what this show is about. We're here to learn about you and your processes and whatnot. And for you, like I told you before you came on, this is a big commercial for you. I mean, plug away. The more that you can sell and the more money you can make and the longer you can stick around, the better the chance we have of getting your product. So,
and also,
absolutely.
If you have these, when you drop that calendar or whatever, shoot us a text. Say, "Hey, we've updated our calendar. We updated it," and we'll make a note of it when we go on there the next time. And we do that with a few of the other distillers that we've had when they have a new release or something like that. So please keep us in the loop if you can. And we might or might not be able to come up and see you in March. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
We'll see. I know I can't make the April one, but I would love to eat some crawfish. But
the only problem is with us being in Kentucky, we have to either fly it up here.
Yeah, we got to get it in peak season.
Yeah.
So April.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I could, if I was able to come up in March and April, I could just get my crawfish monger to, you know, bring it back. I got a guy here in town who I think he goes down once the season really gets rolling about 3 times a week.
Oh, I got it.
And he's just now starting to get it. And of course, he comes out on the internet today and he says, "We will not have crawfish this weekend because of the snowstorm."
Snowstorm.
You're welcome, everybody.
You're welcome.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us again. Be in touch. mbroland.com is where you can go. You can order your bourbon, whiskey, rye, you can't get your rye online though. Is that right?
Yes, you can.
The rye you
Okay,
can get
you
online.
can get
just
your
can't
rye.
get it in the
You
state
can.
of Louisiana.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
You can get
Y'all
most
go
of
to-
your products on there.
Yep.
Go check them out. You got merch on there too, shirts, hats, I'm assuming.
Not right now.
Yeah, not
Okay.
right now.
That's the fun part is integrating the two is not. This is part of that figuring out the process.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, I saw that Mary Beth had on an MB Rolling shirt, so I just assumed. But you know what happens when you assume.
Well, we have them in the gift shop. So if you happen to
Okay.
stop at the gift shop, we do. Yeah. This one's one of my favorite ones. Obviously, it's got the drinking arm. And you notice that's the one.
There you go.
I like
That's the
that.
drinking
I
arm.
like that.
I like that.
I like that. We might need to get one of those.
Mark Pruitt. Okay, guys, look here. Mark Pruitt says he's signing up to be a statesman next week.
Yeah, I think
May
you'll
the
enjoy
8th
it.
is our Statesman Social, but we'll put that out very shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you'll
'cause we-
enjoy it very much.
Sounds good.
It sounds good.
All right,
I'm
guys.
looking forward to you.
This
Coming
has
up there
been
and
like
seeing
one
you
of
guys.
those. This has been like one of those Southern goodbyes. We just never
Just
actually
keep
say
carrying
goodbye.
on.
We're all just delaying.
We thank you guys. Hey,
Thank y'all so much.
stay safe on the snow and the sleet and ice.
We will try.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch with you guys.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
happy
guys.
Marty, happy Carnival. Happy Carnival. Bye, guys.
Go.
Well, guys, that was fun. What do you think about that, huh?
Oh, I love
I
it.
hope
I
that
love
you
it.
guys all learned something tonight. Yeah, we're gonna have to try to get up there, Roger. We say that about every guest that we go and see, though. We're like, oh, well, we're gonna need to run by there. We
You
could
know,
be
but
gone
I-
every weekend.
I think something tells me that we might be, I don't know. Maybe we'll be close to there sometime soon.
I think so. Roger, do you have anything that you need to add tonight while we're here?
No, I'm looking forward to the rest of the show, and I'll just let you get on with our the next presentation.
Well,
You put me
I
backstage.
didn't even mention it. Just some nights you're just off. Tonight, I just don't feel like I'm on my game. But you gave me the sample of the MB Rolland that you were drinking, the uncut, unfiltered, 109.5 proof whiskey, and
Oh,
the more that I sipped on that, the more chocolate I got off of that. Do you getting chocolate off of it?
yeah.
I was-
Oh, yeah. The
It
malt.
reminded me a lot of Detling flavor with that chocolate. I didn't get it at first, but when I dropped a little water in there, then that came through. So anyway, all right, folks.
I enjoy it. I'm glad I got the bottle of it. I'll probably reload on that bottle and check out some of the others.
I'm glad to know now that you can order it online. I mean, I really was under the assumption that just most things we can't get in Arkansas, like when Russell's Reserve put their thing out and, for the 13 or whatever, and I got in there and I put my name in there and it's like, we can't ship to your area. Sorry. And I'm like, dadgummit. I mean, anyway. Yeah. So folks, this may be the worst kept secret ever over here. Can you? I'm buffering.
You are buffering.
Can everybody hear me? Give me a. I am buffering for some reason. Thumbs up if you can hear me. We're going to announce our second barrel pick. And folks, we're really excited about this one. I'm just going to come out and tell you right now, our tasters, we had a panel of 6 tasters. We tried 4 different samples. And we did this very scientifically, honestly. What we did was we judged it on appearance, on the nose, on the taste, on the uniqueness. We had a bunch of criteria, and it was all number based. And everybody tasted this blind, and they put in their tasting notes and their number. And this one won by over 50. I believe the final total was 52 points above our second in line. So without further ado, and folks, this is coming out next month, okay? Well, I shouldn't say next month. Anyway, let's just get to it, all right? The Bourbon Legends, along with Old Glory Distilling, are bringing you the Volunteer. And it's the first ever Tennessee wheated whiskey offered by Old Glory. 6 year, 9 month, produced on a pot still, and it's coming in at 124 proof. Okay. That'll give you what's on the nose. Soft, and I'm sorry, I can't hardly read it because it's not large enough on my screen over here. Roger, can you see that? Can you read that? Well, I don't even know if Roger can hear it. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, put something in the comments.
I can hear you.
Okay, you just weren't saying anything, Roger. I asked you a question.
No, you had me remove me
the
from
fun
the stage.
part about this, what I think is on Saturday. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The fun part about this is we're going to go and take over Old Glory Distillery on Saturday, March 7th. Okay, and you can get your bottle that day. Now, there's going to be more details here coming out. We're going to put it in the Discord here. As soon as this show wraps up, you can go get your bottle. So let me do something real quick here, folks. So what I want to tell you about this bottle, okay, hold on 1 second. I'll show you the tater sticker. No, I won't show you the tater sticker. Not from there. Every bottle that is pre-sold, we're going to pre-sell these things. They're $77 a bottle. That's our cost. If you want them shipped to you, they're going to be an additional $10. If you want to buy 2 bottles and have them shipped both at the same time for $15 even, we can do that as well. Here is the tater sticker. And you'll see there's a Tennessee Volunteer with the wheat and the pot still. And the reason why I came up with this, I think this is a good story. It says this is our second barrel pick, and it represents commitment, intention. Man, I need some glasses, Roger. Hell, I can't see.
Yeah, dude.
Commitment, intention, and showing up prepared. It wasn't chosen by chance or by convenience. It was selected because it stood ready, grain forward, balanced, and honest. When the moment called for it, like the volunteers who shaped the state's history, the barrel didn't wait to be noticed. It earned its place. And when it mattered, it delivered. This is more than just a pick. It's a reflection of the volunteer spirit, early, deliberate, and worthy of the call. And I put that on there because I'm telling you, this one is a good bottle.
Yeah, and again, the $77 is all in. That's the tax, all that stuff included. That's why we did it just to 77, because that includes the tax. And then the shipping is additional, but we are going to be hand delivering some of those bottles around to various people around the various areas. So depending on where you're at, you can put hand delivery, I believe, is one of the options, or get it shipped to you.
Right. And it is live right now on Discord, ready to purchase. There is no minimums. You can order 20 of them if you want. Now, in future picks, when there's less amount that we can go with, we're going to do it through the Patreon system where, if you're a top member, you get top chance. If you're second tier, you get, but not on this one. This one, we're going to go all out. We've got a whole barrel that is at our disposal. So we're just going to open it up, let you go with it. We are going to cut off the sales 1 week before March. What date did we say, Roger?
March 7th.
7th. So basically, the very end of February is going to be the last time that you're going to be able to get this. And this is a one-time and done. So, the thing that happened with the first pick, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but everybody loved that first pick. Unfortunately, not everybody got a bottle of it. And when people wanted to come back around and buy another bottle, there was no more bottles to get. So take that into consideration. After March 1st, basically, you will not be able to purchase this bottle again. So
I'm going to show the image of the tasting notes again, because that's
if you don't mind. I couldn't read them, but
bread.
Roger, start over it. When you got on there, it kicked you out. Start over, please.
It says it's a soft and inviting night out in the glass. Sweet grain leads the way to fresh wheat, bread, honey, and vanilla cream, followed by warm caramel, light oak, a hint of baked apple, subtle notes of cinnamon stick, and toasted marshmallow. Again, all these are come from our notes that we all made individually about things that we picked up within the nose on the glass, because it had a very distinctive nose. I can tell you
great nose.
Yeah, it had a great nose. It's smooth, balanced, distinctively grain forward. The creamy wheat sweetness gives way to the butterscotch, which we picked up. Everybody picked up butterscotch, caramelized sugar, gentle baking spice. The pot still influence bangs, a rich, rounded mouthfeel with it, like the gentleman from MB Rolland said. That pot still really makes a difference in the flavor that comes out on that palate of that bourbon. Excuse me, wheated whiskey. But it has a medium to long finish, satisfying sweet of vanilla, subtle spice lingers, fading into a warm, slightly nutty wheat note with just enough tannin to demand the whiskey that earned its place in the barrel. So again, all these things are from the notes that we got from all the tasters we had. We originally tried to do this with, a couple of different ways, and we have decided we're doing it our way, and we're going to make it work. So
that's right. And this is, this is just the first pick of the year. We're going to try to do. Our goal was to try to do 4 this year, and I'm not going to lie. Like I said, since it's the worst kept secret, we're looking at doing a couple. One from maybe Indiana, and we may be looking at doing one from Kentucky, and we may be looking at one from Missouri as well. So we'll just see how that works out. But like anything, if we don't have the support to do it, we won't be able to do this. This barrel right here is a $14,000 barrel. That's our cost if we had to buy the barrel outright. We don't have to buy the barrel outright, and we're grateful for that. But yes, Mr. Bortner, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So if anybody has any questions about this, if they want to ask, just go right ahead and we'll try to answer. This thing has been going on since what, November, Roger? We've been trying to get this pit.
Yeah, and honestly, in the last few weeks, it's put a lot of stress and strain on Craig, and we finally reached a decision just to say, this is us. We're doing it on our own, and we're going to make it work. So we're hoping that all of you guys come back and help us out and pick up these bottles. If you know anybody else that isn't on tonight, make sure they have the information. Make sure they know about the pick. Old Glory does some really good things, and this is
Old
just one
Glory,
of the first things.
You guys are going to find this out real soon. Old Glory is on the cusp of breaking wide ass open.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why the avenue we were going to go through, we couldn't wait on that any longer, because if the longer we waited, the less chance we had of getting this barrel. We picked this barrel, but we were at somebody else's mercy. So we had to pull a few strings and whatnot, and boom, we made it happen. So the one thing that I really am excited about is it is a pot still. It's not a column still, and it is the first offering that's ever been released as a Tennessee wheated whiskey. So that I thought that was pretty cool that we were getting something that you just can't go and buy off the shelf somewhere. So
yeah, and I tell you what, when we first tried it, we had 4 samples, and I'll be honest with you, we all were kind of looking around and tasting different ones. They didn't provide us with a lot of information. They didn't provide us with the age on it. They didn't provide us with the type of product, if it was pot still or column stilled. They didn't provide the proof, all those things. And it was just all off the flavor, the nose and the flavor and the taste and those type of things. And it does not taste like any of the other products that they've done before in the Tennessee whiskey. It just is.
Well, Roger, we just found out the proof on it Tuesday.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, 124 proof.
Yeah. And I can tell you, it's a higher proof than what we thought. We were thinking it would be maybe around 115, 118, something like that. Roy asked, "Did you get proof?" I don't know if that means, what do you mean, Roy? Proof that we actually got it, or proof that as in what, as the actual
124 proofs, I think.
124 is the actual proof, yes.
We'll go back and show the 9-month offering, produced on a pot still, and it comes in at 124 proof.
And I have to say something here, Roger. It's actually going to be a 6-year, 10-month by the time they bottle it.
Oh yeah,
because it's a 6-year, 9-month right now, but they're not going to bottle this thing till February, so it's going to be right at 6 years, 10 month. Not that month makes a difference; it just looks better on paper. Where did you go, Roger?
I'm here. Hold on.
And like I said, we are not going to take that tater sticker and stick it on the bottle. You guys are going to get a tater sticker when you buy it. And then we're going to throw in a couple of other things I could fit on here. So you get a Bourbon Legends little white sticker, and then you get one that says Barrel Pick Number 2 Special Release. And this will be up to you guys to put it on your bottle. If you want it on your bottle, you can put it there. So if you don't, you might save them. That's how we're going to do them, though, from here on out, is we're going to have these labels, and they won't be actually on the bottle. And so if you want to start a collection of putting them on a poster board or something, whatever you want to do, knock yourself out. But it is the right size to actually go over the back label and cover everything. So,
we're taking a turn from Sazerac, who's now decided to do neck collars. So we'll just hook it on the neck of the bottle, and you decide what you want to do with it. So
Will wants Santa to autograph it. He's going to have to wait till Santa comes back around in November to get it autographed.
I think actually he wants the Bourbon Santa to sign it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't have anything to do with it other than making a label for it.
The other thing I want to mention that we've been kind of and so if you want to come up and join us, we'll do it that day and everything, and do it, have lunch with them. We're going to have a distillery takeover, and maybe later that afternoon we could drive 2 miles up north.
Yep.
And go to MB Rolland and talk to them, because they're doing some interesting things there. Maybe everybody can have a chance to taste some other craft whiskey. Somebody that's doing a 400 barrel production per year. So,
well, what is it? About a 20-minute drive between Old Glory and
yeah, and their distillery. And that's why I wanted to make sure they were still doing tastings at the distillery. So if you're interested, you're coming up to the event up at Old Glory, let us know if you can ahead of time. And then let us know if you're interested in maybe going up to MB Rolland, and we'll get something set up with them.
And if you've never been to Old Glory, it's a really cool facility. Once we get the amount of people that we know that's coming, we'll talk to Matt and Devin over there and see if maybe we can get some sort of impromptu little tour, maybe go through the Rick House, or not for sure. But our plans is to go there and have drinks and lunch. They've got awesome food there right there in the same facility. And like Roger said, then we'll do the pick. Well, we won't do the pick, the distribution, if you will. And then we probably will head up to MB Rolland and check them out too, since it's just so close. You'd be a fool not to. So, anyways, folks,
also needs a tater sticker from the first.
I've got some tater stickers, James. I can get you one of those for sure.
And James, I've got a box for you sitting here, and I need to maybe after the Snowmageddon, we can meet up and folks. Get a pour, and I can give you your box, and I'll try to get your tater sticker for it too.
All right, folks. Dig deep in your pockets. The more we can sell, the more of these things we can do in the future. And be good, be safe out there. Roger, you have any last words?
No, I see that 21090 just jumped on, and I'll let you know, hey, we just announced our first barrel pick, our second barrel pick. It's an Old Glory barrel pick, and it's a Tennessee wheat whiskey. So if you have any questions on that, let us know, and we'll get you some more information on it. It'll be on our Discord, our Facebook, all of our social media. And if you can't find it, call one of us, send us a text message, and we'll blame it on Chill Will Rocco, our newest product manager. Product manager specialist. I forget. But congratulate Will. He's a much smarter man than all of us, and so, other than that, it is going to be a fine. It looks like it's good. So there we go. 21090 is already on board with the idea. So there we go. So
I'm going to the Bourbon Legends group right now, and I'm going to have it put up there.
Perfect. So we'll have it all our pages.
All right, I'm lagging over here big time, Roger. So I'm gonna end this stream. Guys, I'll see you over on the Discord here in just a minute. So long, everybody.
the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold. From grain to glass, through fire and flame, every pour's got a legend's name.